Good morning, God bless. Let me share to you uh, one of my readings. So this is actually been posted, but Facebook asked me to remove this since there was an issue with the audio. Now let me reshare this to you. So this is entitled "The Three Mistakes to Often Made." Now the following are three most common mistakes that is we usually made. Now number one is that believing that mistakes are always to be avoided. There are reasons why people try to avoid mistakes, and because that is what reason is that they believe that failure is a sign of uh, mistake is a sign of failure and weakness. But mistakes can become a learning experience if you haven't made any mistake lately. So that is a question. So not all avenues have been pursued, not all channels have been covered. We learn from our mistake. It's probably can be said further that a person cannot learn without making them. Now, perhaps we could learn more from our mistake if we were not too busy denying we make them. Fear of making mistake has kept many people from rising to the top. During a church convention, these authors said and testified he was conducting. Now, a lady raised her hand and asked the speaker, "Do you ever fail when you go soul winning?" Now, the author of this book replied, "No." She could not believe what she said or what he said, so the lady repeatedly asked the question again. Now, the author gave the same reply, and the lady jumped to her feet and said, "Do you mean to tell me that every time you witness, you win someone to Christ?" The author replied, "No, not everyone becomes a Christian." "But you said you never failed when witnessing," she exclaimed. Now, the author tried to clarify the point of explaining that just because a person did not receive Christ when witness to him or her didn't mean that we make a mistake or we have failed. All we have responsible to do was to share Christ with the person. It's not our job to save him or her. The failure lies in being one who never shared his or her faith with others. For or fear of rejection, mistakes, and failure causes people to make the worst mistake of all, and that's of doing nothing. When you make a mistake, you can resolve never to make another one, but that's an impossible resolution. You can decide that mistakes are too costly and become fearful of them, but that fear can constantly think about your mistake and live with regret. But that is also a self-torture. Now, finally, we can learn from our mistake and become a better person, and that is a progress. Number two mistake. Thinking that success comes naturally to those who are most brilliant and talented. History has proven that people are successful not because of brilliance, but because of persistence and desire. A young man who was learning how to become a trapeze artist heard some excellent advice from his teacher, who said, "Throw your heart over the bars and your body will follow." No matter what field or endeavor we're pursuing, those of us who throw our hearts into our work will know success. The degree of success you achieve depends upon the amount of sincere desire you possess. Successful people have a dream that becomes too exciting, too important to remain in the realm of fantasy. Their dream becomes a burning desire, day by day, hour by hour, and minute by minute. They toil in the service of their dreams until they see it with their eyes and touch with their hands. Persistence is needed to want to become an achiever. Success is never instantaneous. It's never an accident. Success is continuous. It takes growth and development. It's achieving one thing and using that as a stepping stone to rise higher up the mountain of accomplishment. The true measure of success is not what position you reach in life, but what obstacle you have overcome to reach the desired goal. Obstacles are often or overcome by persistence. Now, last and number three, refusing to change when there's a need to change. So one of the most favorite story is about an old fellow who was coming up on his 100th birthday. Now, a newspaper reporter went to interview him. Approaching the elderly gentleman politely, he said, "Sir, you must have seen great many changes during your 100 years." The old man gazed steadily at him for a moment and then replied, "Yes, and I've been aging all of them." I'm afraid that this man's attitude is an attitude of far too many people or other people as well. It's it's so easy to sit in a rut and let the world pass us by after we raise our objection to all changes. Perhaps we should take out our negative, close mind every once in a while and stomp on to it to get all the callous out. What's truly sad about those who won't change is that there can be no improvement except through change. To keep changing is not an end in itself, but only through change can there be true growth. Now, perhaps resist change because they're basically insecure. Uh, what if we fail? How do we deal with the unknown? A church board asked me, or asked this author, what they should do to get their church growing. This church had been running around 13 attendance for the past 30 years. Now, the author suggested that a few changes or that could help their situation. Immediately, the band responded by saying, in essence, we can make those changes. We might fail. I asked them if their lack of growth did not, right at the time, point to their failure. They were already failing. Change could not hurt them and could possibly be the only vehicle toward growth. People resist change because it takes energy to do something different. Exchanging ideas, planning, rearranging priorities, and setting new goals are activities that take time and effort. It's always easier to stay in the same rut, but it's not always right and best. Every growing organism grows to maturity, levels up, and dies unless there's new life, new blood, new activity, and new ideas. In other words, we die unless we continue to grow. We grow only when we change. So I hope this reading also motivate you, same as with me, that we should not fear of mistake because this mistake will also give us an opportunity to learn new things or improvement and at the same time to reach our goal. Thank you so much and have a great day. God bless you.